Listen closely. Silence isn't weakness, it's leverage. The loud guy bleeds his thoughts into the room, hands you the map to his mind, and shows you every crack in his armor. The quiet one? He makes people lean in. He makes them wonder. He makes them uncomfortable. Because uncertainty is the one thing the human brain can't sit with for long. When you master silence, you don't just avoid noise, you control the temperature of the room. Power isn't how many words you say. It's how precisely you use your presence. A steady look, a measured breath, a pause that lasts a heartbeat longer than expected. That's where charisma lives, not in filling the air, but in deciding when not to. People are most impressed by what they can't fully grasp. And nothing's harder to grasp than someone who refuses to overshare. Scarcity sells. When your attention, your time, and your words are rare, your value spikes. So here's the plan. I'm going to give you 12 habits that make you silently magnetic, no chasing, no begging, no theatrics. This isn't cutesy charm. This is control. If you're ready, drop this phrase somewhere you'll see it every day. Power in silence. Habit 1. The aura of restraint. Attraction isn't built by pursuing, it's built by resisting. The moment you flood someone with approvals, explanations, and nervous laughter, you cancel the mystery that bonds people to you. Restraint telegraphs discipline. Discipline telegraphs control. And control is the essence of power. Picture two people at the same table. One talks too loud, interrupts, performs. The other sits tall, listens fully, and speaks when there's a reason to. Who bends the atmosphere without effort? Exactly. Confidence wrapped in quiet feels dangerous because it's unpredictable. People project their fantasies and fears onto the blank screen you provide, and that projection makes you larger than life. From today, speak less and observe more. You don't need to be cold, you need to be selective. Keep your answers tight. Let your curiosity do the heavy lifting. If someone tries to pull you into rambling, smile and give them 10 clear words instead of 100 anxious ones. Make your silence echo. If you get it, write this somewhere you'll remember. Silence commands power. Habit 2. Controlled stillness. Your body talks before you do. Fidgeting, tapping, darting eyes, all of it leaks insecurity. Stillness, on the other hand, looks like command. Sit as if the chair belongs to you. Stand as if the ground yields a millimeter beneath your heels. Move your eyes slowly, like you're always calculating. Predators don't rush, they stalk with patience. When the group escalates, you de-escalate. When they panic, you stay collected. Stillness is unusual, and what's unusual reads as authority. Practice this in public. Reduce extra motion. Slow your walk half a beat. Shave your gestures down to the essential. You'll notice a shift you can't quite name at first. People give you more room to speak. They interrupt you less, and they watch your face to read the temperature. Movement without purpose signals weakness. Stillness with intent broadcasts rank. A quick drill. The next time you feel the urge to react, an eye roll, a sigh, a sudden laugh, don't. Hold the moment. Let the impulse pass, then choose the motion. You're teaching your nervous system the language of power. Habit 3. The strategic pause. Most people answer to relieve their own tension, not to communicate. Words spill out because the silence feels heavy. That weight is gold if you know how to hold it. When someone asks you a question, wait a beat. When they press for your opinion, give the room 2 extra seconds. This doesn't read as confusion. It reads as thoughtfulness. You're telling the world, my words are chosen, not dumped. That pause flips the frame. Now they're on your timing, not theirs. They lean forward. They rehear their own question in the quiet. By the time you speak, your voice carries inevitability. In business, it makes simple statements sound like decisions. In relationships, it builds anticipation. In conflict, it creates dominance without aggression. Practice it ruthlessly. Never answer instantly. Let silence sheath your words like a blade you draw only when it matters. The psychology is simple. The longer they wait, the more precious your words become. Speak like a king counting coins, not like a street vendor throwing samples. Repeat this to yourself until it's instinct. My silence shapes power. Here's how these 3 habits work together in the wild. You arrive, move with calm economy, and keep your body quiet. You listen more than you speak, and when you do speak, you pause first. Your answers are short and decisive, with no nervous add-ons. You don't rush to fill gaps. You let the gaps do the work. People will call it confidence. They'll call it mystery. They'll call it dominance. It's none of those in isolation. It's control. A few micro-tactics to lock it in. Answer compression. Say it in 1 sentence. If they need more, they'll ask. Breath anchor. Inhale before you talk nose in. Slow out. It forces the pause. Eye cadence. Keep your gaze steady while they're speaking. Shift only when you choose to end the beat. Exit early. Leave conversations a touch before they peak. Scarcity beats saturation. From now on, you're not trying to be liked. You're training the room to move at your tempo. Let the talkers talk. Let the nervous laughers laugh. You can sit in the quiet because the quiet now belongs to you. And yes, people will adjust. They always do. The human mind orbits gravity, and silence, when owned, has gravity. Let's get into the next set of weapons, starting with the eyes. Because whether you like it or not, people read your gaze like a headline. Habit 4. Eye contact without need. Eyes aren't windows to the soul. They're tools. Most people either dodge eye contact and look submissive, or they lock on like a beggar waiting for a tip. Both moves leak need. Your goal is simple. Look at people as if you're assessing, not auditioning. You're not searching for validation. You're taking measurements. Hold eye contact long enough to establish that you're present and paying attention. Then release on your terms, as if your attention is valuable and must be managed. That alone reframes the interaction. You're signaling, I see you, I'm unshaken. I decide where my focus goes. This unsettles the insecure and calms the competent. The difference is subtle, but the impact is huge. Avoid a frantic gaze. Slow down your visual cadence. Receive, register, release. When someone speaks, look at them with a steady, quiet interest. When your point is made, let your eyes drift deliberately to your notes, the table, or elsewhere in the room. Don't break eye contact because you got uncomfortable. Break it because the moment is complete. That distinction is everything. Try this drill. In your next convo, pair a strategic pause with controlled eye contact. They ask a question. You hold their eyes for a heartbeat. Then you glance off as you consider, and return to deliver your answer calmly. No rush. No performance. You're showing depth without declaring it. That's authority without volume. Habit 5. The economy of words. Most people fear silence so much they pay with words. They ramble, justify, and stack explanations like sandbags against their own insecurity. You're going to do the opposite. The more you say, the cheaper each sentence becomes. The fewer you say, the more each line lands. Think like a craftsperson. Every sentence must carry weight. If it's filler, cut it. If it's apology, cut it. If it's defensive fluff, Cut it twice. Your aim is clarity with edges. You're not being mysterious for the sake of it. You're practicing strategic scarcity. Give just enough to move the conversation forward or make a decision stick, then stop. Let the silence do what it always does. Make people try to read between your lines. Watch how this plays out in a heated debate. One person fires a volley of facts and feelings, desperate to win. You listen, nod once, then answer with a single, clean strike. One observation that reframes the entire discussion. You didn't out-talk them. You outweighted them. Your words felt like decisions, not noise. A quick framework to keep you disciplined. Decide. What's the outcome you want from this moment? Deliver. Say the minimum necessary to produce that outcome. Delete. Strip anything that exists just to soothe your anxiety. In negotiation, this forces the other side to reveal more. In leadership, it separates you from the chorus and makes you the signal. In relationships, it creates intrigue and respect because you're not trying to be understood at all costs. You're trying to be effective. Say it with me. My words are weapons. Use them like a scalpel, not a sprinkler. Habit 6. Strategic indifference. Nothing kills attraction faster than visible desperation. The man who needs the sale, the text back, the approval, the invitation he bleeds leverage. Strategic indifference is the antidote. It is not apathy. It's not, I don't care about anything. It's controlled caring. You feel the pull, but you do not get pulled. You choose your moves based on mission, not mood. Compliments? Take them like data. Insults? Same. Attention? Interesting, not intoxicating. Criticism? Consider it if it's useful. Discard it if it's noise. What you're building is sovereignty over your state. The world will still throw hooks, flattery, provocation, guilt. But your frame no longer has a place to hang them. You can acknowledge emotion without acting from it. That's the rare skill everyone respects and few possess. Here's the power play. When people can't make you move with praise or panic, they start orienting around your steadiness. They seek your read on situations. They second-guess their own reactions. They fall into your timing. Strategic indifference makes you unreadable enough to be intriguing and stable enough to be trusted. That's a magnetic combo. Practice in small moments. Someone tries to bait you with a snide remark, no defense, no lecture, just a neutral, noted, and you return to the point. Someone floods you with praise, smile, appreciate it, and keep your pace. Temptation shows up, don't sprint toward it. Walk around it once, check angles, and decide if it serves the mission. You're not suppressing feeling. You're separating stimulus from response. To keep yourself honest, ask, if I didn't need approval or outcome X, what would I do here? Then do that. Counterintuitively, this makes you more attractive in every arena. In business, you're the calm operator whose schedule is full by design, not fluffed by panic. In dating, you're the person who invests, but never chases validation. In life, you're a center of gravity, not because you're cold, but because you're controlled. Put a bow on these 3 habits. Eyes that evaluate instead of beg, words that cut instead of clutter, and a stance that refuses to be yanked by anyone's emotion. Combine them, and your presence stops asking for space. It creates it. People lean in, they talk more, they reveal more, and you sit steady, choosing if and when to move. Now that you've learned to use silence, stillness, and selective words as tools of power, it's time to move into the next phase, how to dominate social interaction itself without saying much at all. Habit 7. Controlled silence in social combat. Every conversation is a contest for control. Most people think they're connecting, but subconsciously, they're jockeying for position, trying to prove who's smarter, funnier, or more likable. Once you understand that, you stop talking to please, and you start speaking or not speaking to win. Controlled silence is one of your sharpest weapons. It's not awkwardness. It's not shyness. It's intentional quiet that forces the other person into discomfort. The average person cannot handle the tension of silence. They rush to fill it, exposing what they think, what they fear, and what they want from you. You, meanwhile, observe calmly, storing information while giving none back. Here's how it works. When someone challenges you, don't rush to defend yourself. Meet their eyes, let the pause hang, then answer only if it serves you. When someone gossips or complains, hold your reaction. Don't reward the noise with attention. When someone tries to provoke you, silence is the most devastating counterattack because it denies them control. This is why silence is not the absence of power. It's the concentration of it. It's the invisible pressure that makes others stumble over their own words. In negotiation, the one who speaks last usually wins. In conflict, the one who doesn't react gains dominance. In attraction, the one who withholds response becomes the center of curiosity. So, practice it. When you feel the urge to explain or overtalk, stop. Let the air grow heavy. Let them squirm. You'll start to notice something strange. People begin revealing themselves, apologizing, explaining, even changing their tone, all to escape the weight of your calm. You've made them orbit your gravity. Repeat this until it's instinct. My silence breaks them. Because once silence becomes your weapon, no conversation can threaten you. You're not playing defense anymore. You're controlling the rhythm of the entire interaction. Habit 8. Purposeful isolation. Weak men drown in noise because they're terrified of what silence might reveal about them. They fill their days with chatter, distractions, meaningless company, anything to avoid being alone with their own mind. But the man of power, he chooses isolation as a forge. He uses solitude to sharpen himself, not to escape life, but to master it. Isolation isn't loneliness. It's the gym of the mind. When you step back from the herd, you detox from its chaos. You hear your own voice again. You start seeing how much energy you've wasted on shallow connections and pointless arguments. Purposeful isolation is what turns a reactive man into a strategic one. And here's the paradox. When you can walk alone, people chase you. They sense that you don't need them, and need triggers obsession. Independence is magnetic because dependence is everywhere. Most people are emotionally addicted to attention. Your lack of that addiction looks like power. So pull away sometimes. Vanish from the noise without warning. Don't announce it. Don't post about it. Just disappear for a week. Build in silence. Work in silence. Return sharper. When you come back, your absence will have made you bigger in people's minds. They'll fill the gap with imagination, and imagination always paints you stronger. The key word is purposeful. Don't isolate to hide. Isolate to refine. Withdraw with intent read. Train. Plan. Cut off the inputs that dull your edge and return only when your presence can command attention again. Remember, mystery isn't built by constant exposure. It's built by distance. You appear, impress, then retreat. Repeat this cycle, and you become unforgettable. Write this into your bones. My isolation creates power. Because when everyone else is addicted to noise, the man who thrives in silence becomes the one the world listens to most. Habit 9. Emotional control, cold authority. Every empire that falls does so from the inside first. It's never just enemies or rivals that destroy great men. It's their own lack of control. Anger blinds them. Desire distracts them. Fear paralyzes them. The strongest man collapses the moment he becomes a slave to his emotions. So understand this law. Emotional control is not about suppression. It's about sovereignty. You feel everything, but nothing controls your moves. When rage rises, you don't explode, you calculate. When lust tempts, you don't chase, you choose. When fear whispers, you don't retreat, you observe it until it loses its grip. This is rare. The world is full of impulsive men who mistake volatility for authenticity. They brag about being real when what they mean is easily manipulated. You'll be different. You'll cultivate cold authority, a calm that unnerves people because they can't read it. Your anger burns, but you release it only if it serves a purpose. Your interest shows, but never too soon. Your disappointment exists, but you don't broadcast it. Every emotion you express must be deliberate, because when others can't predict your reactions, they can't control you. This isn't coldness for show, it's discipline. You're training your nervous system to stay steady while the world panics. When chaos hits, your stillness becomes a magnet. People instinctively follow those who don't flinch. They mistake your calm for certainty, and certainty is the currency of leadership. Practice in small moments. Someone cuts you off in traffic? Silence. Someone disrespects you publicly? Look them in the eye, smile faintly, and let the weight of your composure crush theirs. Someone tries to provoke you online. Don't bite. Every test is a chance to strengthen your restraint. Remember this rule. The man who can control his anger, lust, and fear controls others. Because while they react, you choose. While they speak, you think. While they burn, you build. That is the difference between a pawn and a player. Repeat this until it becomes instinct. My mind is my fortress. Because once you command yourself, no one else can command you. Habit 10. The mastery of scarcity power isn't just about what you have. It's about what others think they can't have. That's the secret psychology of scarcity. Humans are wired to crave what's limited, rare, or withheld. The more available something is, the less value it holds. And most men destroy their own value by being endlessly available, texting back instantly, accepting every invitation, explaining every decision. They flood the market with themselves. You won't. From now on, you'll treat your time, attention, and presence like a luxury brand, expensive, controlled, never on clearance. You won't hide, but you'll appear strategically, on your terms. Like a king who walks among his people only when it serves a purpose. When you enter a room, it feels like an event. When you speak, people lean in. When you leave, they feel the absence. That's the art of engineered scarcity. It's not arrogance, it's calibration. You're teaching the world how to value you. If you give everything freely, you drain your mystery. If you hold something back, you create anticipation. Mystery builds magnetism because the human mind hates incomplete stories. They start wondering what you're thinking, what you're doing, who you're becoming. You occupy their thoughts without lifting a finger. So ration yourself. Give just enough to spark curiosity, never enough to satisfy it. When someone asks too many questions, answer one and let the silence hang. When your friends expect you to show up every time, skip one event. Let your absence be noticed. When someone compliments you, smile slightly and move on. The key isn't distance, it's discipline. You appear enough to remind them you exist, and you disappear before familiarity dulls your edge. Abundance kills value. Scarcity multiplies it. Be the diamond, not the gravel. Protect your energy, ration your words, and make your time feel sacred. The less accessible you are, the more desirable you become. Repeat this truth until it's instinct. My scarcity creates value. Habit 11. The ruthless precision of boundaries. Power isn't just built, it's protected. And the wall that protects your power is made of boundaries. Weak men can't say no. They fear rejection. They fear disappointing people. They fear missing out. But the moment you start saying yes to everything, you dissolve your authority. Boundaries are not cruelty, they're clarity. They tell the world, this far, no further. Understand this. People don't respect generosity. They respect limits. When you refuse politely but firmly, it shocks people at first. But beneath that shock, they feel something deeper admiration. Because boundaries signal self-respect, and self-respect is rare. It tells them you have priorities, that you value your energy, that your time means something. The man who says yes to everything becomes a servant. The man who says no when it matters becomes a king. When someone crosses a line, correct it calmly. No anger, no defense. Just truth delivered cold. If they respect you, they'll adjust. If they push back, they've exposed their agenda. Either way, you win. The key is consistency. The first time you break your own rule, you teach others you can be bent. But when you enforce your limits without apology, you teach them to rise to your standard or leave. In business, strong boundaries mark you as a man whose time isn't cheap. In relationships, they turn attraction into respect. In life, they keep you free from chaos. Don't mistake boundaries for walls of fear. They're walls of power. They don't hide you, they define you. Remember, every time you say no, you're saying yes to your mission. So protect it ruthlessly. Say it out loud. My boundaries are law. Habit 12. The aura of untouchability. Everything builds to this. The final habit that fuses all others into something unbreakable. Untouchability. The silently attractive man doesn't need to shout, prove, or explain. He's immune to praise, immune to insult, immune to emotional storms. He moves with calm purpose because he's anchored inside himself. Untouchability doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means nothing owns you. Compliments don't inflate you. Criticism doesn't shake you. Rejection doesn't break you. Desire doesn't distract you. You choose your reactions like a general choosing when to attack. And in that restraint lies the highest form of power. When the world sees that it can't move you, it starts orbiting around you. People sense something rare, a center of gravity that doesn't chase, doesn't flinch, doesn't collapse. They start adjusting their tone, their timing, even their energy to match yours. You stop reacting to life, and life starts reacting to you. This isn't arrogance, it's sovereignty. You are the ruler of your own mind. You give warmth when it serves your purpose. You give silence when it strengthens your position. You show up not to be chosen, but to choose. You set the frame, the pace, the standard. The world either adapts or fades. Both outcomes serve you. That is true Machiavellian charisma, power that speaks without words, authority that radiates without force. The kind of presence that bends the air when you walk into a room. The kind that makes people remember you long after you've left. Engrave this final truth into your identity. I am untouchable. Because when nothing outside of you can break your calm, when no approval or rejection can move you off your mission, you've reached the final form of silent attraction, the kind that cannot be faked, cannot be stolen, and cannot be defeated. Everything you've learned, silence, stillness, scarcity, restraint, it all points to one outcome: sovereignty. The state where your energy is no longer reactive but magnetic. You've stopped chasing attention and started commanding it. You've stopped explaining yourself and started letting silence speak for you. That's the moment when attraction stops being a performance and becomes an aura. The quietly powerful man doesn't hustle for validation. He doesn't prove. He projects. When he walks into a room, people straighten without knowing why. His calm makes noise. His stillness demands respect. The mystery around him isn't an act. It's the natural gravity of someone who belongs fully to himself. You see, every habit in this philosophy works like armor, crafted to protect the core of your being from the chaos of the world. Restraint keeps you from leaking energy. Stillness keeps your body in control. The pause makes your words land like verdicts. Controlled eye contact disarms without aggression. Indifference shields you from manipulation. Silence wins conversations without battle. Isolation refines you. Emotional control makes you untouchable. Scarcity multiplies your value. Boundaries protect your throne. And when you combine them, something extraordinary happens. You become a force of nature, steady, deliberate, unreadable. The kind of presence that doesn't beg for respect because it naturally creates it. Here's the truth. Charisma isn't about being liked. It's about being remembered. People may not even know why, but your silence, your composure, your scarcity, all of it lingers in their mind. You represent control in a world addicted to chaos. This is why Machiavelli's wisdom still echoes centuries later, because it's not about manipulation, it's about mastery. He understood that power isn't noise. It's discipline disguised as mystery. The man who can lead his emotions can lead others. The man who owns his silence owns the room. So let me ask you, are you ready to live this way? To stop oversharing, over-explaining, overreacting, and instead move through life like a storm behind glass, powerful but contained. Start small. Speak less than usual. Let others rush to fill the silence. Notice how they reveal themselves while you stay unreadable. Take one evening each week for purposeful isolation, no phone, no distraction, just thought. When anger or desire pulls at you, breathe through it instead of bowing to it. Each time you resist, you're sharpening your edge. You're not here to impress the world. You're here to influence it. You're not here to please people. You're here to command yourself. And when you can do that, the world bends without resistance. So carry this mantra into everything you do. I am untouchable. I speak less, move slower, and see further. Because silence, once mastered, isn't emptiness, it's authority. And the moment you understand that, you stop chasing power and start becoming it.